Hi, and welcome to day 16 of the Summer Member Makeover. And I'm sorry to be starting a minute or two late. We've had a couple of people that had some emergencies come up. Crystal had one at work, and she popped on long enough a little bit ago to just let me know she can't make it. She will be here tomorrow. She's doing good. So we're thinking of her. And I am waiting on both Donna and Janie. I know that for Janie, this time of the day is extremely hard. And I'm sure that Donna's going to eventually be with us, but I don't want to hold any of you back. I'm Kathy, the founder of Forget Diets, empowering thousands of women to make the simple, easy changes to create lasting weight loss and enjoy the life they really love. So anyway, let's get started. Today, we are going to focus on completing our rules around nutrition. So yesterday we focused on what we are going to eat, and it was important to be able to think about not only what you will eat, but what kind of ingredients you want, what you won't eat, and the whys. And the whys are so important because, like years ago, I decided, because of all the information out there that we actually knew was hurting our body from artificial sweeteners, that I was not going to eat or put them in my body. So, I was able to quit drinking the diet drinks, and haven't done that for years because I made that real choice. It was a choice. I decided on it because there were real reasons to support me in that. And I chose that my body was worth not putting those types of things in. And also, I don't like a lot of preservatives because I want to preserve my body the healthy way, not with artificial things. So today we're going to talk about the where should you or would you or will you eat, because where is really important. There's a lot of W's here, and that helps people be able to remember. But where will you not only you eat, but where will your food be prepped? Because that makes a difference too. So we need to decide, where will our food be made? Will it be made out at restaurants? And that's fine. There's a lot of great restaurants. Will you be doing fast foods? And what kind of foods would you want to select if you're doing fast foods? Maybe you're going to do it purchased, ready to heat and eat. Those can be alternatives too. Or maybe it's the order out and delivery. We need to think about where are we going to have the food prepped? Or maybe we're going to be doing it at home. And when we do it at home, we can do it in a lot of easy ways. First, you can take and prep more meals at a time. And for instance, this morning, as I was doing some scrambled eggs for breakfast, I also made taco meat for lunch because my grandson's here. And so I wanted to make sure there was lunch ready. And so killed two birds with one stone. I was cutting up onions and that sort of thing. So just make two meals at one time. You can also do the planned overs. And we've talked a lot about making more, I want to say, portions. So when I cook, I always cook for at least 4 or 6 or 8 people, even though there's only 2 in my household, CJ and myself, because I don't want to have to spend a lot of time cooking and prepping. So I always have planned overs for another meal. So we need to be thinking about where is our food going to be prepped. And then the second that I kind of shared at the very beginning is, where are you going to eat? And here I don't mean necessarily restaurants. I mean, are you going to be sitting down and eating? Are you going to be standing and eating? Are you going to be multitasking when you're eating? Maybe you're eating in the car. It could be the restaurants. Maybe you're eating with others. Maybe you're eating alone. But it's important that we stop and think about where we are eating. And the real reason for that is because what we're doing while we're eating really impacts how much we eat or how satisfied we feel. So what they have found And we've known for a long time, it takes your brain about 20 minutes for the food to really register, for it to really tell your body, hey, I'm getting full. And when we are eating and doing something else, you will eat more. When we're multitasking and just, I want to say that mindless eating, maybe you're eating lunch at your desk and you're checking your emails, you're checking your Facebook, maybe you're even working. Your mind is on what you're doing, what you're looking at. It's on the emails, the Facebook, the work. It's not on that you're nourishing your body. And so honestly, there's a disconnect there. And even though the nutrients are coming in, the brain isn't really registering that you're eating. So it's really important that we stop and say, you know what, I'm worth a few minutes. I can actually take a few minutes to sit down and enjoy my food. And when we do that, we want to be enjoying the flavor of it or being grateful that we have it, things like that. And you don't have to sit there for the whole 20 minutes. Yes, it's going to be great if you can. And taking the small bites and chewing them longer are real great techniques to really help that brain know that you're eating. But just taking minutes without doing something else is so important, so that your brain can actually process that you're eating. I can't tell you how important that is. So, we need to be thinking about, where's it prepped and where are we eating? And if we're eating in the car and we're doing all these other things, honestly, our brain is more engaged on our driving or whatever. Now, drinking your water, that's a whole nother thing. And here comes Donna. But it's so important that we take and make sure that we're thinking about where the food is prepped and where we're eating. And hi, Donna, thanks for joining us. I know it's some weird new time. And Crystal couldn't be on because she had an emergency at work. She popped on right before we were to start to let me know. And so we ended up starting. We've been talking a little bit about the information you gals got today as we're finishing day 2 of designing our nutritional rules. Yesterday we talked about the the what we will eat or what we won't eat. And today we're talking about the rest of the W's. So we just finished talking about where your food will be prepped and where you're going to be eating. And so I share the information about how important it is that we actually sit back at a table, preferred, and enjoy that food and really taste it and savor it and relax a little bit so our brain understands and realizes that we're eating. So that's where we are. And do you want to just take and share, because I didn't have anybody here to share the wins. So did you find yourself with any wins from yesterday?
From yesterday?
Yes.
No, I mean, I went to the movies and I did not have the popcorn.
Oh, that's a win.
Yeah, because, popcorn, it's all about the senses. And so they pop it just as you're coming in. So it smells wonderful and you go, oh, I really need it. But I did not have it.
So were you thinking about that you just didn't want it, or maybe some of the stuff that they put in it?
I just didn't have that desire was just not there.
Awesome.
It wasn't like I go, oh, I'm at the movies, gotta have popcorn, or oh, that smells so good. Yeah, it smelled good, but it wasn't like going calling my name saying, come to me, come to me. No.
Wonderful. That is definitely a win. Yeah, that's a big win.
Yep.
And were you able to take and kind of write out your rules for yesterday?
No, I'll be honest. After that, I had to drive to Tennessee and meet someone. So I was kind of road warrior yesterday. And so I did that, and then I've been going ever since 6:30 this morning.
Well, good. Well, thanks for being able to hop on. I greatly appreciate it. So then after deciding where we're going to eat, the other thing that we started to think about is why we're going to eat. And a lot of times, people think, well, that sounds kind of strange. Why do we need to think about the why? But when you really stop and think about it, a lot of times we're eating when we're not really hungry. So, I mean, you did a great job yesterday. You weren't hungry at the movies and you didn't cave into the popcorn. So I think that's really important because we want to, stop and think about those times when maybe all of a sudden you find yourself just grabbing into a bag and realizing there's not much left in this bag. Or if you take and have, say, a bowl of candy, or in my situation it'd be peanut M&Ms out, it'd be really easy to grab a couple as I go through, not because I need them, but because they're there. And so, one way to not have that is, needless to say, I don't put out peanut M&Ms in my house, unless maybe the grands are over. But I think that mindless eating a lot of times is something that we often almost don't do. And like when people go to the movies and they're sitting there eating the popcorn, they're not sitting and enjoying the flavor and how wonderful it is. They're watching the movies and chomping away.
Yep.
And the same can happen with, it's just a habit. And the same can happen with TV or movie watching at night, So a lot of times it's that mindless eating or eating by association. And so it's really important that we stop and think, what am I eating, or why am I eating this? And that helps you start that mindful eating. So I do applaud you for yesterday not getting the popcorn because you didn't really need it. And that was amazing. It's that whole engaging and mindful eating. And that's what I like to encourage women to do. If you're going to have a treat, enjoy the treat, but know you're doing the treat. Yeah. And then there are ways that you can take and think about balancing it to make it a little healthier, like you were sharing yesterday with the chocolate and the nuts. It's the dark chocolate and nuts is amazing. And then the last W is what else? And I think a lot of times all we need to do is stop and think about, what else could I be doing? Or, what else is making me feel like I need to eat? And it's those what else's that start you into really mindful eating. Because you might find that, it's really nothing related to hunger. Maybe it's more that I'm sad, or I'm lonely, or I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm stressed. That's what else is going on. And it's not necessarily the hunger. And then we can stop and think, well, then what else could I be doing instead of eating? How could I be handling this anger or the frustrations or whatever? Because that's all a part of getting started with that mindful eating. So today I'd love to encourage you to complete the nutritional rules for the where, the when, the what else, and the whys, and then be able to keep working with that tracker. So do you have anything you'd like to share today?
No, I mean, I'm really enjoying the tracker because at the end of 2 weeks, it was kind of nice to look back to see. And so it's really a good way to judge where I was at and where I'm now at halfway through this. So, I mean, when this is over, I'll probably continue to do the tracker because I've gotten in the habit. And it's really kind of cool to be able to have a visual reminder of what you've accomplished.
And it doesn't have to be a complicated tracker.
No.
I mean, it's just pretty much check it off or just fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
And so I greatly appreciate the tracker and that you're finding it helpful, because I know that people are 40% more successful when they record what they're doing. 40%. That's amazing. And so I had a few people ask me yesterday after our live if they could still join. And yes, people can still join. We had a whole group join and just get started yesterday. You can get all of the information that everyone has. We drip it out day by day. So you actually will be starting with day one. And that's so important. And then going from there. So just go to summermembermakeover.com, and you can get started right away.
And I will say, I think the one thing a day is the reason. And I'm going to speak for the other two ladies, but we've talked about this several times. It's that one change a day that has really made this much more effective for each one of us. Because we're not going in saying, well, we got to change this and this and this and this, and you're going, oh, too much stuff, forget it.
Right. And if you look at all the newest research, and there was some more new research out just today that proves you can't change everything at once. And if you take those little bitty steps, start with that one thing, and then that starts to become a habit. And then you add, and you just gradually build, but you do it in a manner that is easy to be able to say, well, I can do what I did yesterday and add one little thing today.
Yeah, and that's the reason I think ultimately I'm not feeling like I am on some program. I'm just making changes in my lifestyle of what I'm doing, and they're easy and they fit. So I don't feel like I'm dieting.
And on top of that, you're the person that's making the choices because I've given suggestions. I've never said you need to do this and you can't do that.
That's very true.
Because when we're told we have to do this and we have to avoid that, it actually doesn't work inside our brains. We're not wired that way. We're almost more wired to rebel against that. But if you have that input, that whole, you take on that responsibility to determine, hey, I think this is what I'm going to eat, and these are my reasons for doing it, rather than, oh my gosh, I have to do this, and I hate that, So it's so important, the little bits each day, and then you be the person that determines what it is.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to before we started this when I was complaining about putting on weight to you because my mom likes to eat ice cream every night, but she will only eat it if I sit there and eat it with her. And you made a suggestion, well, she can have this and you can have this. You didn't tell me don't eat the ice cream. You just said, why don't you try this? And it worked really well. So she's happy. I get my little taste of ice cream and I'm a happy camper too.
Yeah, because we have to be able to have our cake and enjoy it and eat it too.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Donna, for joining us today and for sharing. And we will see everyone back here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.